Make a long story short. It is used when you do not tell all the details or when you want to make it very, very short or summarize something. For example, long story short, I got fired.
So what happened? So to make a long story short, what happened is when you saw, these are, for those of you who are mathematically inclined, these are standardized regression coefficients.
This is work done in collaboration with Greg Walton, a professor here at Stanford. I'm going to make a long story short. What we did was, in the first year of college, we brought freshmen into the lab.
Well, to make a long story short, I had a great experience at Boston University. My classmates and my faculty well received me. I was the only black in my class of 76 students.
And I could feel the energy of somebody that was very anxious. And to make a long story short, I discovered later, after the owners of the building told us the truth instead of lied to us.
To make a long story short, the ironic thing is it happened again. I have a 1-year-old child.
Well, to make a long story short, and believe me, there's a lot of really interesting details in this story that I wish I could share with you, but they did acknowledge that at the end of that weekend, you know, we really do care deeply for each other, and even though we live on opposite coasts, we just want to see if this could work.
And to make a long story short, finding a beautiful actress who was getting married on Maui right before New Year's, the team got its image at tremendous expense, and the expense was really irrelevant. This was for a 30-second or so clip at Macworld.
Anyway, to make a long story short, while I was on this committee, the chair of the committee would send me mountains of correspondence. This is what our meeting is going to be.
And the fact that I told it like it is, and the fact that I had a sales background caused me to be hired. But to make a long story short, it was a lucky break to sell at Columbia.
And to make a long story short, that was the beginning of serious discussions.
You can look it up online, Wikipedia, I'm sure Google has their own several pages somewhere online of the harmonic series and the way that every note casts a number of harmonics above it. To make a long story short, it means keeping your bass notes low and your other voices closer voiced up above, because what that does is it allows you to tune more easily.
Well, to make a long story short, my wife and I still to this day chuckle when we see a sign that says scenic route.
And to make a long story short, over a period of time, I became a trustee.
And then when
about 20 years ago.